If you've always thought that the United States is the epitome of clean and safe food production, you may have a change of perspective after watching this video. From questionable practices in mass production to the use of potentially harmful chemicals, other countries have valid reasons to cast doubt on the safety of foods claiming to be FDA approved. Indeed, some American foods have even been banned by other nations. In this video, we'll mention the unsettling truth behind these bans and uncover the darker side of American food production. Before we begin, click on the subscribe button and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Swiss rolls. Swiss rolls contain 32 milligrams of dye per product, which can harm children. It's not just about making them hyperactive. Some studies suggest that cutting out artificial food coloring
Chaos Swiss roll
could be almost as effective as giving kids Ritalin. There's also a link between artificial food coloring and cancer. These dyes can damage white blood cells, causing mutations in just 3 hours. This exposure could make tumor cells grow faster. Researchers advise against regularly consuming food colorings throughout life because of these risks, even though they're tasty. Interestingly, you can't buy Little Debbie Swiss rolls in Norway and Austria, but you can in the US, only that they come with warning labels for parents, similar to cigarettes. Can you imagine that? Milk. Did you realize that there's a difference between milk and milk? Well, not easily identified, but most of the milk consumed in the United States contains some certain form of growth hormones called RBGH, the recombinant bovine growth hormone. Cow milk is supposed to be the most healthy source of animal protein and calcium in the US. But the American Cancer Society said that RBGH is a man-made product meant to increase how much milk cows produce, meaning the producers are out for more gains than actual health safety. The question now is, why is it still allowed in the US? The USDA says that only about 9.7% of dairy companies are using it, but they're still using it, and that's a problem. This growth hormone is fully banned in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Japan, and the European countries. Breakfast cereal.
Hey.
Hello.
I'd like to ask a few questions about this breakfast cereal.
Yeah, box of tricks.
These sets of meals are top in the charts of the general meals every American household holds dear for daily survival. Think about kids munching up on some cereal before leaving for school every day with milk that we've already established how unsafe they may be.
Oh, nigga, please.
How exactly are cereals harmful? In Japan and the European Union, Kellogg's cereals like Frosted Flakes, Rice Krispies, and Honey Bunches of Oats can't be sold because they have a flavor enhancer that can cause cancer.
Yeah, that's not as bad as it looks.
Also, they use BHA and BHT to improve shelf life of these cereals. What are BHA and BHT? BHA stands for butylated hydroxyanisole, and BHT stands for butylated hydroxytoluene. They're synthetic antioxidants commonly used as food additives to prevent spoilage and rancidity in foods containing fats and oils. The sad truth is that the FDA is also trying to help these companies from running into losses if their products can wait for a while to be completely sold out. Fair enough, but what about those eating them? Farmed salmon. If you eat a lot of salmon for its health benefits, you should think about whether it's wild-caught or farm-raised. Farm-raised salmon are given an unnatural diet and drugs that consist of unnatural and unhealthy grains and antibiotics that aren't safe for human consumption.
Drink for you, Elsie. Jonesy, you gotta hold still in order to get a drink.
Worse still, they're given a chemical called astaxanthin to turn their flesh pink, which can harm your eyes. Some countries, like Austria and New Zealand, ban farm-raised salmon because of these issues. So it's better to choose wild-caught salmon for good health. But how can you tell? I just told you, look out for the unnatural pinkish color. Bread. Have you ever seen a crunchy French baguette? Maybe in a cartoon or real life. They look and feel great, almost like you can eat it right out of the screen, right? But let's be real. You may want to quickly have some to make some quick lunch for your kids. And then you think, I can't make a sandwich with that. And then you quickly go for some store-bought bread. As much as we praise sliced bread, many of the bread options in American stores aren't as great. That's because they're loaded with additives, like azodicarbonamide, which helps bleach flour and make the dough stronger. It's interesting that azodicarbonamide isn't just used in bread. It's also found in various industrial products, like yoga mats. The European Union's banned its use in food products because they don't want their citizens eating something that's also used in yoga mats. Pork. Pork, also known as the other white meat, is very popular in America. Just like chicken, fish, and beef, Americans eat around 67 pounds of pork per person each year, enjoying various pork products like bacon, ham, hot dogs, and pork chops. However, there's a concern about the chemicals added during pork processing, such as ractopamine, which is used to make pigs grow bigger. Many countries, including China and Russia totaling 160, have banned ractopamine because they believe it's not safe for people to consume. As a result, many countries have banned the export of pork. European Union countries stopped using ractopamine since the outlaw, which I think is the only one banned in the US. China and Russia also stopped using ractopamine in 2013. This might be because ractopamine can have similar effects on humans as an intoxicant, causing fast heart rate, headaches, and muscle spasms if consumed in large amounts. However, some people might argue that these risks are worth it for delicious pork. Chlorinated chicken.
Hey, Fallout Boy.
What's for lunch tomorrow?
Next.
Chicken necks.
In America, keeping things clean often means soaking them in a chlorine tank. This includes chicken, which is approved by the FDA. Pathogen reduction treatments, or PRTs, involve using chemicals to kill harmful germs on raw meat. American food regulators decided that quickly soaking chicken in chlorine is the best way to kill salmonella and other bacteria.
Then I hereby declare you chicken for life. Every morning you'll wake up to "Good morning, chicken."
The European Union isn't totally against using chlorine, but they prefer other methods. Chlorine consumption isn't very risky. The real issue with chlorine baths is that they only tackle a small part of a bigger problem. Some people are concerned that these treatments aren't enough to handle all the bacteria, especially those from things like bad feed or dirty farms.
Oh my God, no way.
The European Union thinks using chlorine is just a quick solution and believes no chemical rinse can get rid of all bacteria. However, they admit chlorine is necessary to kill bacteria from heavily contaminated meat due to poor hygiene. Steak tartare. You don't have to take a long flight to visit countries that don't allow certain American foods. Just drive to Canada, show your passport, and say you're not bringing any raw meat in your car. Today, eating raw meat, like steak tartare, isn't popular in the US. But Canada and Australia especially have zero tolerance for it compared to the American chefs trying to make some name from the infamous cuisine. Eating undercooked or raw foods, especially beef and poultry, can make you sick with food poisoning or parasites. Despite that, steak tartare, which is considered a fancy food, was often overlooked by countries. For example, in Canada, there's guidelines for cooking meat to a safe temperature, but they weren't strictly enforced. However, in 2021, restaurants in New Brunswick selling steak tartare were told to stop. Canadian health officials were worried about the risk of botulism, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Peanut butter. The average American probably doesn't know that they consume a lot of palm oil because they already consume a lot of peanut butter. Almost everything you use every day has palm oil in it, like peanut butter, butter, shampoo, and detergent. Palm oil makes these products smooth, spreadable, and foamy, and it's cheap to produce. But making palm oil leads to cutting down rainforests, which are important for animals, plants, and fighting climate change. Animals like orangutans lose their homes because of palm oil plantations. So even though palm oil makes things nice, it harms the environment and animals.
Intensive. I'll bet they won't have... Wow, they have it!
Creamy peanut butter.
To make things worse, the peanut butter consumption in America is the highest in the world, and most American companies have the backing of the FDA to use palm oil in place of partially hydrogenated vegetable fats for other products as well. As a result, countries like Malaysia, Italy, France, and Belgium would rather not destroy the environment than eat Nutella. Apples. You may have heard the famous saying that an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, it may be true for other countries, but not America. On the contrary, eating apples may land you more visits to the doctor, and the USDA is aware of this. After picking apples, farmers and packers put a chemical called diphenylamine, or DPA, on them. This helps stop the skin from turning black or brown when the apples are stored in cold places for a long time. They've been using DPA since 1962 in the US. In 2010, tests by US Department of Agriculture scientists found DPA on 80% of the apples they tested. Not just the apples themselves, it's found in apple juice and apple sauce, and sometimes in pears and pear baby food. The long-term effect is that it could cause cancer. As a result of this test by the European Union, apples from the US were banned from entering the European Union countries till date.
The apple.
What?
So, which of these banned foods did you like best before now? And would you stop eating them? Tell us in the comments. Also, click on the subscribe button to watch more videos from this channel.